We are looking at 2 days of severe weather for the deep south and southeast and Dixie Alley areas. We already had some severe weather last night in areas in Texas, but last night the storms were not tornadic. But as we go throughout today, our low pressure system will start to intensify quite a bit, and that will cause a higher severe weather risk. We already have a slight risk outlined by the Storm Prediction Center today and tomorrow. I'll break down what you guys can expect with this severe weather system. So let's get started now. I'm going to start with breaking down our severe weather risk. So we have a day 1 slight risk right here. That is a 2 out of 5 risk for severe weather. We also have a marginal risk stretching into northern Texas. The main area for severe weather today will be on the Louisiana border and Texas border, most in far eastern Texas. That is when our low pressure system starts to intensify a lot. We also have a 5% tornado risk outlined for areas in far southwest Mississippi, central Louisiana, and far southeast Texas. And we have a 2% tornado risk stretching to central Mississippi and including all of Louisiana and eastern Texas. There's also a 15% damaging wind risk in about the same area, except for there is a 5% damaging wind risk that stretches a little bit farther down south in Texas. And also a 5% damaging hail risk as storms are just starting up with discrete cells. We could have some hail. Let's look at our day 2 outlook. Here's our day 2 severe weather outlook, where we have a slight risk issued for far north Texas, southern Georgia, and Alabama area, far northwest Texas. 5% tornado risk in far northwest Texas areas in southern Georgia. And we have a 2% tornado risk that stretches all the way to eastern Mississippi down into central Florida. A 15% damaging wind risk for these areas, about the same area, and a 5% damaging hail risk for those areas. So that is our risk zones. Let's go take a look at our weather model. First, we're going to start with our recent activity, so our expected, basically what it will look like on radar, what the model thinks will look like on radar when we look at it. But this is what the model is showing. It shows around 1 to 2, so the afternoon hours is when this system will start to intensify a lot. We saw that on our jet stream too, that when that low is getting stronger, that is when it is intensifying, and that is what's causing the storm to go from this to this. We can see as that's why that 2%, that 5% turnover is mainly for Louisiana. Look how strong the system is right here. It's a very strong QLCS system. Definitely could cause damaging wind, hail. We are also looking at a couple of tornadoes being possible. Let's take a look at our cape for today. Here's our surface-based cape for today. As we go throughout the day, we start to see it kind of weakens as we get away from that daytime heating. But in the morning hours, morning and afternoon hours, we do still have about 1,200 to 1,400 cape in many areas in Texas, even going up to 1,600 in some areas. So very high cape, definitely enough to support. You can have little pockets of 2,000 because we have such high dew points, high temperatures, all that in these areas. So definitely something to watch for as we go throughout the night. That kind of does weaken. So the tornado threat is mainly for the day because we don't have much cape at all unless it be shear driven. It's still possible we get spin ups, but it's less likely we get tornadoes during the nighttime. At least with this system, because it's not warm enough or enough cape to actually withstand the night, even just a little bit. You can see as we go throughout the night, the cape just dies instantly. But let's take a look at our SIGTOR, our significant tornado perimeter. Here is our significant tornado perimeter. On this model, we definitely see some very high SIGTOR in some areas. Looking at some areas going up until 2, maybe closing in on 3 SIGTOR, 2.8 SIGTOR. This basically shows this has a good environment. This takes in every single perimeter and kind of combines it and sees what areas are good areas for tornadoes. And so kind of where the SPC has outlined right on that 5% tornado risk area and on that Louisiana-Texas border. right in southeast Texas and eastern Texas, where we do have that 5 and 2% tornado risk area. So definitely be weather aware in these areas. Definitely anywhere in central Texas, all the way to Mississippi, all the way to Georgia and North Texas, Florida. Definitely be weather aware the next 2 days. But let's go look at our severe weather risk for tomorrow. Let's look at what the models are showing for that. Here's what our reflectivity is looking like on the ARRR. This is just like a 2-run older model, so it shows that 48 hours. If we go until tomorrow, we see it moving to the Louisiana to that 5% chance risk. Starts to weaken a little bit, but then it starts to re-intensify as it goes into North Florida. And this is where we have that 5% chance risk right here as it's re-intensifying. Some cells pop up in front of it that could definitely pose a tornado risk. Very strong QLCS line system here, mainly going to be damaging wind and hail versus system, small hail possible. But there still is a chance for a couple of spin-up tornadoes. This thing moves all the way down into almost fully, all of Texas almost gets hit by the system. So Texas definitely be weather aware in most of Texas. But North Texas specifically, you guys are in a tornado risk. Same with areas in Georgia, Mississippi, Alabama. Definitely be weather aware in those areas. You actually see the low pressure system right here. See how it's all circling right here? This moisture circling, this rain is circling right here. That is actually where this low pressure system is right here, this little circle. That is, you can see it spinning around, causing severe weather, and it starts to die out and go off sea. That's when the severe weather stops, once that goes off sea, offshore. So, definitely looking at a strong low pressure system causing this severe weather. Let's take a look at our cape on for tomorrow. Let's take a look at our surface-based cape. We're not actually looking at too much cape. It's mainly going to be shear driven, as you can see here, guys. We are not looking at much cape at all. Some areas with about 700, and isolated areas going to 600, 700, which is still enough for some severe weather, but it is, if we have 1,000 plus, that is usually a lot better for severe weather. It helps support that severe weather more. So that is good news. That kind of helps to stop the tornadoes a little bit, but it's not going to be able to fully do that because even though we still have very high shear and good moisture and push from that low pressure system, so that cape is still not going to stop. We still could have a couple of tornadoes. That's why the SPC does have that 5% tornado risk outline. Even though there's not much cape, there's still a little bit of cape, good moisture, and there is good shear. But let's take a look at our significant tornado perimeter. Here's our significant tornado perimeter. Take a look at this. Oh, look at off sea. Has 3 sigtor off sea. Yep, definitely. Still showing even that little pocket where there's 800 cape. There is 2 sigtor in northwest Texas. In that little tiny pocket right here, because there's at least 900 cape there, which helps with that severe weather more. Which there's still a little bit of sigtor in Mississippi, or that 2% tornado risk, but that 5%, where that main 5% area is outlined. There is 2 significant tornado perimeter in that area, and even in southern Georgia, we're looking at 1 to 2 sigtor, North Florida. You see, it starts to weaken now, but there's still the chance for tornadoes up until central Florida, until the system fully starts to die out. Kind of crazy though. Look at that, guys. There is, if we go back just one thing, we can see right here there's 2.8, 2.6 significant tornado perimeter just off the offshore, which means we could get some water spouts also. Good conditions for water spouts to happen too. So be careful if you're out boating or anything like that. You probably shouldn't be boating in this storm anyways. But definitely be weather aware of the next 2 days, guys. So thank you all so much for watching this video. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. If needed, I will go live for severe weather coverage if I need to. But thank you all so much for watching. Like and subscribe and comment on your city and state down below, and I will tell you if you guys can expect the severe weather system to hit you.